For today's cup of coffee, we're going to be talking about channeling. And this was sparked by Yeats's his encounter with the transfiguration medium. I think I have that term correct. And yeah, they used to call people mediums, and then it became psychics, and then psychics. There were different levels of psychics or different categories. It's interesting how all that works. Why is it everybody has gotten a specialty these days? But the interest in channeling has been going on as long as there have been people. And if it was a matter of them summoning up the dead or talking to the dead, that used to be called necromancy. And yeah, and we don't know. Yates had a good question. It's like we don't know for a fact that what the transfiguration medium did was talk to the actual dead people. There's questions with that. My personal experience with channeling happened in about, let's see, give me a minute now. I think how old my oldest kid was. He was born in 93, so this was probably around 91, 92-ish. And I had never really been around channeling and stuff before and met a group of people that had similar interest or said they had similar interest. And the first time that I was present for a channeling session, I was sitting on a settee in front of a picture window. And for whatever reason, I began to shake so violently that the window behind me began to rattle. Not exactly sure, but anybody else that had good sense would have left. And I've never been known for having good sense. So being in with this group, I was taught to channel. And it was interesting because what you're doing is you are inviting a spirit, an entity that says that it's something into your body. And knowing what I know now, that's a horrific thing. And they had tapes of me when I would channel, and that it did not even sound like me because it wasn't me. And it's just what you're doing on that. And there's people that it's not a matter of like writing from your heart or whatever and flowing through you. And that creativity, some people could say that that's channeling, but what I'm talking about is truly allowing an unknown entity to use your body for a period of time. And what I would do because my brain was sort of fighting with the words of the entity that was coming through me, and so I gave them permission. It's like just sort of push my consciousness to the side so that I'm not trying to force the issue. And yeah, they would do that, and so I would watch like Koi or something like that while they were till the session was finished. And some of the other people that I was around that were channeling, that's a lot of information, a lot of weird things that would happen. One of the group, their main people that they channeled were supposedly the Pleiadians. And there were a couple of Airedales that these dogs stayed outside all the time. But when those entities were around, they would start to howl. That was the only time that you would know the dogs were on the place, was when somebody was getting ready to channel these things that were called the Pleiadians. And yeah, and there was one particular entity that I would channel that there was a cat in the house that was one of the meanest, most hateful cats I have ever been around in my life. And I'm very much, a fan of the feline peoples. This cat would not come near me or anything unless that I was either getting close to channeling this entity or had just finished channeling a particular entity. I'm not even going to go there at that point because that's a little too scary for everybody right now. And one time the cat was on my lap, and I was just sitting there not doing anything. The cat was on my lap. It reached up. It scratches my face. So, yeah. And so as far as doing the channeling thing, no, I don't. Because it's like going into an internet chat room. You can pretend to be anything that you want to be. And so these entities that are coming in, we don't know what those are. Now, I have seen people, I saw a girl become possessed while she was channeling. And that somebody else had to channel a higher entity to get the other one out of her. And it was kind of horrific. I mean, she was panicking, truly panicking. So it's not something that I would recommend anybody do. You really need to think about that. One of the most interesting things that came through in channeling, and this was the gentleman that was channeling it, and I knew what it was when it said, the entity said, now this was probably 27, 28 years ago. And the information that came through was, there will soon be a mass exodus from the planet. No one will go who hasn't chosen to go. Yeah, that was kind of chilling. Now we got to realize in that realm of spirit, as far as time frames, soon does not mean soon to us. But for me, knowing what I know now, that sounds very much like the rapture, folks. Now, if you're not Christian, or if you've never studied about the rapture or something, yeah, because remember, these forces of darkness, they're dealing half truths and lies. So it's interesting times we're living in. So the channelings, no, I don't recommend it. If you have an inspiration or something like that, even with God, we have to invite Him in. And as far as the Holy Spirit and different things like that, any of these supernatural entities can come in only by invitation. But at least we know, as far as God, and the Holy Spirit and stuff, these are the qualities of love, forgiveness, empathy, kindness, honesty, and some of the other forces. But there's a price to be paid on for the information that they'll bring you sometimes. So you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Have you another cup of coffee. Be sure to send in your spooky encounters, paranormal. If you want to get into quantum physics, that's perfectly fine. Legends of the area. Anything that's strange and unusual, just go ahead and send me an email. And that's cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And if you just need somebody that's going to listen to you, not judge you, anything like that, go ahead and reach out to me, folks. Again, have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye.